Hey, boxing fans, it's Sonee from Sonee Sports Report right here in beautiful, sunny Tampa Bay, Florida. Now, I don't have a lot of time, but I had to at least get in a video report today of what happened Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas on Showtime's Knockout Kings 2. It lived up to its name, people. Let me tell you, from the first fight to the last fight, it was an unbelievable night of boxing. Let's start off with Keith, one-time Thurman, versus Diego Chaves. Now, you knew I set you up in my interview with Keith telling you that this was going to be a barn burner. Rounds 1 through 6, crazy slugfest. Unbelievable. No defense to be found. It was a totally an offensive fight. Now, rounds 1 through 3, they were just tagging each other, showing each other their power, believing in that power, as Paulie Malignaggi said Saturday night. And also, they were both just showing each other their brass by going hit for hit. Now, round 3, Keith Thurman got clocked in the nose, opened up a steady flow of blood. More so than hurting one time, though, it seemed to tick him off because he came out in round 4. I saw the look in his eye, and he was looking for a knockout, or he was thinking a knockout may be necessary tonight to get this man down on the canvas. Round 5, it was up for grabs. I think both men honestly just took a round off, some time to just get their thoughts together. Round 6, back to there was left hooks flying everywhere in round 6. Now in round 8, I saw Dan Birmingham, trainer to Keith one-time Thurman, literally reel his boxer in and back to his technical boxing skills. This slowed the pace of the fight down by half, and that just played right into Keith Thurman's hand. This was a good pace for him. Round 9, he came out, put Chaves to the canvas with a crushing body shot. I literally thought at that moment that he may have cracked Diego Chaves' rib just from the sound effect that I heard. Obviously, Diego Chaves never recovered from that body shot. When he was on the stool coming out into the 10th round, he did not have the look of a man who was ready to return to center ring. He just seemed like he was done. There was a look of dread on his face. But sure enough, coming into the 10th round, Keith Thurman came out of the corner throwing wrecking balls. 28 seconds later, we've got Diego Chaves down in a TKO win, making Keith Thurman the new interim WBA welterweight title holder. Now, the belt doesn't mean so much, but what this really does mean for Keith is that it puts him right on track to possibly get that title shot from WBA welterweight champion Adrian Broner. Now, wouldn't that be something to see? So just lick your chops, people. It is coming down the line. Now, in the next bout of the night, we have Omar Figueroa and Nahito Arakawa. Now, they just simply picked up right where Keith and Diego left off and took it to a new level. Talk about an offensive onslaught. There was no reckoning or coming to their senses at all. This went 12 rounds of just pummeling each other. Arakawa took Omar Figueroa's little baby face and turned it into a ground beef patty by the end of the fight. Now, although Figueroa won, and Figueroa had these spurts of great power and great punches, he was easily led to the ropes when he would get tired. And so that's where Arakawa would then do his worst damage by just pummeling him with punches on the ropes. And then, of course, Figueroa would make his way back to the center of the ring. You need to train to stay in the middle of the ring for 3 minutes, not 2.5. So although he won, it didn't serve him well to not stay in the middle of the ring and fight that out for 3 solid minutes of every round. Arakawa continued to come back and relentlessly counterpunch. Anything that Figueroa put up, Arakawa had an answer for. But in the end, Figueroa, I guess, did put in the extra work, or did put in the amount of work that earned him the 12-round unanimous decision. Now, where does Figueroa go from here? I think he's a great little fighter, but I think that he needs to go into the gym and really hone his skills, really bring him into a thinking man's game, not so much a punching man's game. So that was that fight of the night. Another great fight on Showtime's Knockout Kings 2. Now, to conclude the evening, we had the much anticipated Andre the Beast Berto against Jesus Soto Karass. Now going into this had to be a toss-up for Berto because you've got Soto Karass coming off of a win against Iden, but a loss against Maidana. So I think he still had some unresolved feelings from that fight with Maidana that he was bringing into this fight with Berto. Berto, again, had a lot of proving ground himself. So this was just, this was a matchmaker's dream. Two men coming in with intent to win their fight. In the end, Jesus Soto Karass took home the win. Now, I definitely felt there was some key moments in the fight. Berto was hurt by Soto Karass in both the first and the fourth rounds. And in the fourth round, Berto threw a wild left that ended up sending him to the canvas and landing on his right shoulder. When he got up, he was moving that shoulder around. Never seemed like the shoulder got back to where it should be, because after every round going to the stool, you saw him adjusting and moving that shoulder. He also just went to a left jab and a left hook basically for his arsenal. So that definitely put him at a disadvantage. Soto Karass just kept punching. It was only when Soto Karass did not punch was when Berto was able to even tag him. With Berto in the last fight with Robert Guerrero, his eyes swole up. They swole up again in this fight with Soto Karass, not to the extent that they did in that prior fight, but it just seemed a little premature for me. Halfway through the fight, they started to swell, so I don't know whether that's an issue with him as well. So we had the right shoulder going on, we had the eyes swelling up, and we just saw Jesus Soto Karass outwork Berto to a win. It was just plain and simple. I wonder if ringside, if Austin Trout sitting ringside was telepathically saying to Soto Karass, you must knock him out. You do not want this to go to a decision. And we well know why, because his last visit to San Antonio with Canelo Alvarez did not go the way he would want in his favor. So the way this falls out, folks, Jesus Soto Karass outworks Berto, gets a 12-round knockout, and who knows what is next for Berto. I mean, this is a very crucial point of his career. He has now lost 3 fights in a row. He needs to sit down to the drawing table and relook at what type of boxer he is and what type of boxer he is to become. Again, it was quite a night of boxing on Knockout Kings 2 on Showtime. And remember, you can now find Sonee Sports Report on Jeff Mayweather's Pro Boxing Insider. That's www.ProBoxingInsider.com. And I am the U.S. correspondent for Live Fight, the UK-based website, and that's www.livefight.com. I'll see you soon. Now, I just have to point out a couple of things that I found interesting during the evening. During the Nahito Arakawa Omar Figueroa fight, I honestly don't remember which round it was. It was one of the later rounds when Arakawa went to his corner. It was getting to be a really tough fight at that point, and his cornerman said to him, just give it your best shot. I have never heard that in a boxing corner before. Just give it your best shot. Alrighty then. Okay, and then the other moment of the evening was when Keith One-Time Thurman did address the San Antonio crowd as San Diego. Let me say something about this, folks. Get off One-Time's back. Everybody makes a mistake. The guy had just went through a grueling fight. He definitely had love for your city. As you could see, he was trying to give it up to you because he had told Jim Bray first he wanted to give it up. And you know what? Things happen. So this is a fighter on the rise. Let's not boo him about something so small as just a slip of the tongue. He went back, covered his tracks, and that's how you do things. You man up and you move on. So give One-Time a break on that whole San Diego, San Antonio thing. All right? Again, you've been watching Sonee Sports Report from sunny Tampa, Florida. I think it's time to dive into the pool, so we're out of here.